playing golf on Friday.
Oh, yeah. Who with?
Tubes and Jimmy Bullard. It's the rematch.
Back on Golf Life.
Mate, respect. Enjoy some rest, yeah? See you soon. Well done. See you later. And I'm getting Pat Brown on there next as well. Because Pat Brown is the second best golfer in the matchroom business. See you later, boys.
Well, I look forward to watching that one, tucked up in bed with a cup of tea. Yeah, Frank, not Dave's night tonight. Disappointing in that sense, but I just spoke to him and he said, look, refreshingly honest, I'll admit, sometimes you're just not as good as someone else, and that's okay.
That is Dave, isn't it? Refreshingly honest. And that's what makes him what he is. That's what makes people love him. That's what makes these nights that we saw tonight. You know, people want him to do well. You know, he's just a nice bloke. And he challenged himself. He could have had an easier fight. He could have taken a less risky fight. But he didn't want to. He wanted to challenge himself. He wanted someone that drove him in the gym, that pushed him to the limits he hadn't been to before. And I said to him in the ring afterwards, like, whatever he does now, stay in that mindset, like stay in the way he is, because I've never seen Dave Allen in such a great headspace. And, you know, as a nice person, you just want to see nice people do well. And it's not the end for Dave Allen. When you create nights like this, atmospheres like this, he'll be back in big fights. He'll recreate nights like this. You know, he's got, and even bigger nights, I'm sure.
I know, again, you always say that I'm not the boxing expert, but is there anything that you perhaps would have liked to have seen that you didn't see from Dave tonight?
I think
it's easier said than done.
I think it's always easy,
yeah.
When you got a 6 foot as a 10 man, I said earlier,
yeah, we're selling
261 pounds, throwing shots, and he didn't stop punching. You know, it's not like he took rest, really. He did not stop coming for Dave.
His engine has improved from fights we've seen before.
He said in the press conference afterwards, he said he's been training 3 times a day following the loss. And I think, you know, it's always easy to say, Dave should have done it, Dave should have done that. But, like, at the same time Arslanbek got tired, Dave's tired. Because you're in there, you know, like, he was holding him at times, you know, using his size on Dave at times. But, yeah, I think Dave went in there, he gave it his all. And he said he got punched so hard, but he just had to go 12 rounds with him.
Yeah, I think he said that Jamie threatened to pull him out. But when I spoke to Jamie said I just kind of wanted to see his reaction. But Dave was adamant that because of things that have happened in the past, David Price, Fraser Clark, he just couldn't in Sheffield stomach not doing the full 12.
Yeah, but that's the man Dave is, you know. And I think he puts himself in a position now, as I say again, to go back into big fights, to create nights like this again, you know, and he deserves that.
British title?
It's a great fight. Obviously, TKV and Fraser Clark fight on October 25th. He's got history with Fraser. If Fraser wins, that's a great fight. And let's see, early part of next year. I think he needs some rest now. It was a gruelling 12-round fight. It's been a gruelling camp. Again, as I say, he's never trained like that. But, yeah, early part of next year, getting back out. You know, people talk about the Johnny Fisher trilogy as well. That's an interesting fight. People want to see. You know, there's so many fights out there.
Yeah. And in terms of Makhmudov, a matchroom fighter?
Yeah. So we'll be working with him moving forward. He's in a great position to get big fights, you know, because people, like, again, as I kept saying, it's such a fickle sport we're in, where he's written off after losing against Ajit Kabayel, who's now in the top 5 heavyweights in the world. Like, what a mad thing! Like, you test yourself against the best, you get beat.
He's the best bar Usyk.
Yeah, but you get beat. Like, that's the sport we're in, and we have to normalise people losing.
So he signs with Matchroom, or you've got your work.
We'll be representing. Yeah.
And he walks straight in and gets the golden goose, right? Anthony Joshua.
That's what he wants. You know, he's been in the DMs.
DMs. Can we clarify?
Someone posted some DMs.
Shout out to the graphic designer from the Stomping Ground.
Oh, what, they weren't
Hassan.
real?
Did you fall for that as well? You're too clever for that, Franklin.
I don't really
getting hold of.
I don't really look at anything. I just sort of go like this and go, well, there's a DM screenshot. What someone's created them.
Hassan, because he's done well. Yeah, people have been saying, oh, how have you got Makhmudov's DMs? Obviously, they're not.
You're sliding in Makhmudov's DMs.
Yeah. But yeah, we need to clarify about these DMs.
No, look, Arslanbek.
Makhmudov to Joshua before in conversation.
No, Arslanbek DM'd him and said he wants to fight him, as a lot of people do.
Did he get a response from Joshua?
Probably. AJ responds. You know, he's not. You know what he's like. But he's also on his own path, his own journey of fights that make sense for him as well. You know, there's a lot of talk about the Fury fight in 2026. AJ's on his own direction of what he's going to do.
Yeah. Just 2 other fights I want to kind of mention from the card. Josh Padley against Reece Bellotti. The 99-92, I mean, even Joshua Mid was just, it's not acceptable really, is it?
No, and that's what's got to change. Again, I said time and time again, if it was a point on the cards, it's very hard to argue in a close fight, in a fight that different styles and people score fights differently. I think the sport has to change in a sense of someone has to look at those scorecards and sit down with the judge and go, why did you do that? And if you can answer it, like the truth is, boxing is subjective. Boxing scoring is subjective, right? So he might sit there, or that judge may sit there and say, this is the reason why. This is the reason I scored it that way. And then you may agree with them. I don't think you will. But that's what has to change. If it was a point, you couldn't really argue it. But when it's like that, it creates even more, of a storm about it. So I think, look, something has to change. But we said it a lot. So it's like, how does it change? How do we come together? How do we change that, that review process?
Yeah. And Jana Boston's defeat to Bilal Fawaz. Is that going to be quite a difficult one to come back from for Jana? Because there was a lot of, I'll use the word needle in the fight. Didn't like the way he performed first time around and obviously beat tonight. Is that quite a difficult one for Junaid?
I think when you look at it, Junaid for me has matured so much just in the last 9 months. It has changed completely as a person, and how he got back up how he stayed up in that third round, came back out in the fourth round, won that round arguably, and then went through a 10-round fight after getting caught the way he did. That's Jana Boston that has changed, in my mind. His mindset has changed completely. He's become a man, since that first fight. I believe he deserved to win tonight, right, by a round. Again, just like what I said in the Padley fight, by a round you can't really argue it, right? It's hard to argue. Say, you look at a fight, you could score it either way by a round. I believe, in my opinion, he deserved to win. He didn't. But he can come back. He can build back into a big fight. He's got the opportunities to do that. I think the Trilogy is a huge fight, so let's see.
Yeah. By the time this goes out, he'd have already fought, but just what do you want to see from Boots tonight?
First out, shout out to Giorgio Vizioli. Tremendous win, 80-73, I think he won.
US debut.
Yeah, US debut.
Giorgio, yeah.
Working on, I haven't seen it or spoken to him yet, but working on a plan for him to headline a show before the end of the year. And Jerome Boots Ennis, pound for pound star. I want to see a tremendous knockout win. Lima's no joke, but that's what you're going to see. That's why he is the pound for pound star, and he's going to be #1 in time to come.